non-believers.
How did that?
To all the non-believers, especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
Welcome back to Jets Field. This is episode 4. Today I'm going to be going over this past draft. I'll give you a little insight on who I thought the Jets should target, and then we'll go through who the Jets actually drafted this year. So let's get into it. The targets that I had 3 primary targets I was looking for the Jets, and it's just based on needs. My first one was, and this was the guy that I really wanted. This is like the guy, was Tyler Warren. I really wanted the Jets to take a chance on him and bring him in here. Obviously, we didn't at pick 7. He was still available, I believe, and we didn't go with him. Obviously, we went a different route. It seems like it's a trend whenever I look at the draft and the players that the Jets should draft, or where most of even the fan base. I think we look at the Jets draft. I think we have a pretty good understanding and idea of who we should bring in here, but the general manager and the head coach, they always go their own route. Don't agree with what the fan base is thinking as well. So going back to it, Tyler Warren was my primary guy. You could ask. I was telling this to all my friends for the longest time. Tyler Warren was my guy, the tight end out of Penn State. He ended up going to the Colts. I think it was in the pick 14 in the first round. But yeah, size is great. 6'5", 250 pounds. He was the John Mackey Award winner, top tight end in the league this past year. I just loved his versatility. I also like the backstory as why he wore the number 44. But he has great size, athleticism, great blocking, and then he has that versatility where he could have came in and did some wildcat options for us. And then the second guy I was thinking about was Shedeur Sanders. I know a lot of people weren't on board with this. A lot of Jet fans weren't on board with this. But when I was looking at him, I was looking at our future needs. And even though the Jets don't draft quarterbacks well, we all know that very, very well. Shedeur Sanders was somebody I thought could have stepped into New York and maybe had the opportunity to thrive. With his lineage, with his father, he's always been in the spotlight. He knows to handle pressure well. I just thought he would have came in and maybe, going back, if he could have sat behind like an Aaron Rodgers for a year, this is something I thought could have really benefited him and the organization in general. Yeah. So, but obviously, that was like the biggest surprise of the draft is him falling all the way down to the 5th round. It was from the beginning of all the draft talk. It was him and Cam Ward like the number 1 and 2. So I was surprised that he fell so far. And I heard all the reports about his draft interviews and all that garbage. I don't know. I think he's gonna do well in this league. Especially if he is developed the right way and given the opportunity. Yeah, so Shedeur Sanders, 6'1", 212 pounds, 2 years at Jackson State, 2 years at Colorado, all with his father, 4-year starter. Big 12 player of the year this past year. And then what really I liked the most is protecting the football and an accurate passer. So he fit that mold perfectly. I think he had over 70% completion percentage. It was just incredible. I do understand that he had some flaws in his game, and I saw that. Obviously, he didn't have the greatest offensive line over in Colorado, so he would hold on the ball way too long at times. But that was just his. I think that was just his way of trying to create a big play. And then my last guy. Just given our situation at wide receiver 2, with Devontae Adams leaving, Garrett Wilson is our primary. Alan Lazard, I don't know why he's still on this team. I hope he, has a comeback year. But yeah, we have no option at wide receiver 2, right? Like a solidified option at wide receiver 2. I thought this next guy, I don't even know how to pronounce his first name, but Tetora McMillan out of the wide receiver out of Arizona. You know, his size, and I just thought his ability, ball skill ability, and going up and getting those 50-50 balls. I think he was like probably the guy that I could see just stepping in and being a real nice compliment to Garrett Wilson. Obviously, we didn't go that way, and we're still searching for a viable worldwide receiver too. But yeah, like I said, he ended up actually going in the round one pick after our pick to the Panthers, pick number 8, 6'4", 220 pounds, big possession receiver, great size, ball skills, and I really got put onto him in 2023. He had a real breakout season at Arizona. I forgot how many touchdowns. I think he had 12 touchdowns or something like that, but they were like highlight reel touchdowns. And then this year he was consistent. He still maintained his productivity, and I thought he would have been a good fit. He ended up going to the Panthers. So moving forward to who the Jets actually drafted, and watching the Jets draft is like something all Jet fans we look forward to, because we're bringing in another group of fucking people to break our hearts. So yeah. And then I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like with Joe Douglas draft picks, the notable ones. Like, I love Joe Douglas. I thought he did a great job. Obviously, outside of the Zach Wilson and like the Mekhi Becton pick, he brought a lot of young talent onto our team. That's like now is the core foundation of our team, the core players of our team. I'm hoping Muji and Aaron Glenn can pick up and run with it as well. So let's get into it. The first round, we went with, at pick number 7, we went with Armand Membou, offensive tackle out of Missouri. Like I said, I wanted Tyler Warren at that spot, but you can't knock the Jets for looking to solidify our offensive line. The games are won in the trenches. And we've had piss poor offensive play for a long, long time now. You're hoping this guy can step in and be an instant all-pro, like just a solid right tackle. And I think we're going to get that with him. All the stuff I'm seeing about him, I watched some, highlight tapes of him. I'm actually happy that the Jets went this route. I'm actually happy how the Jets went overall. They handled this draft. So Membou, 6'4", 330 pounds. The only thing that jumps out to you is that he lacks the size of like a traditional NFL tackle. He doesn't have the height, and but what he lacks in height, he makes up for in his aggressiveness. He's strong at point of contact, athletic. He can move, and he has that elite body control that you want in an offensive tackle, especially with dealing with these pass rushers in this league now. So even though he lacks size, I think he's gonna make up for it in technique, and that's something I'm looking forward to see how he develops, and actually solidifying this offensive line. And now we should be set. We should be set. Left tackle, we got Olu. Left guard, we should have Simpson. Center, I know it's up for debate right now who's actually gonna be the center, because Tittman's presumptive starter, but he's been having snapping issues and whatever shit going back from last year. And then AVT at right guard, and then Membou should step in and fit in perfectly at right tackle. That line right there, we should be able to run the ball. And I'm just objectively, we should be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. And Aaron Glenn is going to want to run the ball, so this should fit in perfectly with what we're trying to do. Round 2, we went and filled our tight end need. We went with Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU, at pick number 10 in round 2. 6'5", 250 pounds, and he has that Hall of Fame bloodline with his father that, for the first majority of his career was over in the Dolphins, and came over to the Jets for a little while, spent some time with us. And he's also, I heard that his uncle was Zach Thomas, the linebacker from the great linebacker from the Dolphins. So he has the bloodline to be great. Yeah. Like I said, my primary target was a tight end, and I wanted the Jets to go after Tyler Warren in that first round. But I like the strategy here, and I'm hoping it pays off because tight end is a major concern for us. We need to have a viable tight end. We lost Conklin this year, and I don't know why we let him go, but so right now we were left with Ruckert as our primary. Bringing in him, I think he's going to easily be the tight end number one. I don't know what's going on with Ruckert. Us all as Jet fans, we love the story. We love the hype around him. We all expected him to really make some leaps and bounds over these last, it was 3 years now. But it just hasn't materialized. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what happened, but we needed to bring in some good tight end talent, and Mason Taylor should fit that bill. Like I said, he's a great route runner, smooth in and out of his breaks, extremely athletic. But I think the thing that I like too is that he has that versatility. He also can block, which is going to be important in our offense. I'm assuming that the Jets are going to try to run. Round 3, we went with the cornerback from Florida State, Thomas. Azareyeh Thomas. Round 3, pick number 10. 6'2", 197 pounds. I love these type of cornerbacks. These big, long, good-sized cornerbacks. I just like them. He should be able to come in and effectively challenge for that number 2 spot that we have. But that's to be determined, see how he translates in the NFL. Great press man cornerback, great size and length with his arms, good speed. So he should be somebody that could step in and make an impact on our team. And I'm excited to see, how he progresses over training camp, preseason, and then even going into the following year. Round 4, I think this was a sneaky good pick right here. Round 4, we went with a pick number 8, Arian Smith, the wide receiver from Georgia. 6 foot, 179 pounds, but this guy has speed for days. 4.3 speed in the 40-yard dash. He can outright fly. He has that big playability that can really take the top off the defense and really try to open up this running game for us and underneath game. And for Justin Fields and for how I think our offense is going to be set up, we need to have that threat, that deep threat, to be able to back off the defense. Because if we don't have that, they're just going to stack the box and we're going to have issues. So having some guy like this guy with this great speed, the only issue he has coming out of college is well known is that he tends to drop the ball a lot. And as a receiver, that's a no-no. So he needs to be working on that nonstop. I don't know, what is that? Babe, what's that ball catching machine that they all use? I don't even know what they call it. He needs to be spending some time in that and just stand in front of there for hours a day and just catch balls. Just because last year, I think he had over 10 or more drops. So that's the only thing that's holding this kid back from being, I think he's going to really be a mid-level wide receiver in this league. But I would just like the fact that he's going to be able to bring that speed that's going to be able to take the top off the defense and really back them off. They have to respect that. And the only way they're going to respect that is if he can go out there and catch these deep passes. And then the next guy that I want to talk about, because I don't want to keep going further in the draft, take up all this time, but the other guy I really like in round 4 that we traded, I think it was the Eagles, traded with the Eagles to move back up into round 4. At pick number 28, we went with Malachi Moore, the safety out of Alabama. I like this pick. any guys coming out of Alabama and that are team captains, played 4 years in Alabama, I love that. That's like, if you can get a guy from Alabama that's been a 2-year captain, like, sign me up, because he's doing something right. And we all know as Jet fans, we need help at safety. You know, we have Cisco, who we brought in. We're hoping he could solidify that one of those spots. But then we have, you know, another spot open. Tony Adams is well loved by Jet fans. But if we can bring in some competition and really push the issue, I would love to see this kid succeed and take that second starting spot at safety, because he's versatile. He can play either safety spot. He does lack in size, which is his only thing. He's 5'11" and 200 pounds, but he excels in coverage. So, you know, this is a passing league. We need that. I think he'll be a great fit. And you know, just like a lot of these guys, even, you know, Thomas, the cornerback from Florida State. These are guys I see, you know, maybe in 2 years, 3 years can be that solidified starter for us on the defense and make some impact. Yeah, so that's about it. Overall, I like how Muji and Glenn handled this draft. We addressed a lot of needs. You know, obviously it was not what the target players that I was looking at, but who the hell am I? I'm just your average fan. But we addressed our right tackle position. We addressed the tight end position. Cornerback, we got some help there. Wide receiver, we needed help. Safety help. Yeah. So overall, I like how they handled this draft. I'm excited to see what these guys can go out there and do. And yeah, please like, subscribe, and share all this stuff. I'm trying to grow this platform. And yeah, as always, go Jets.